how you feel about the Patriots plan post-Bill Belichick, because it seems like it's coming into focus a little bit, and I can't stand it. Our options are you love it, which who could you possibly be? You hate it, which is where I'm at, or what plan? And I will acknowledge that Plan Z, Mego, getting turned down by candidate after candidate after candidate, and then turning to your last option, I'll acknowledge Plan Z is a plan. I will give them a plan. But I hate it. I don't like that they're just bringing in people that Elliot Wolf knows. It's better than bringing in Bill people. Like, that's the one thing I really loathe. Just bringing in ex-Patriots and guys with ties here, Josh McDaniels, Nick Caley, etc. But we're like a half step above that.
Now it's Wolf people.
Now we're just bringing in Wolf people. And if you look at what he did in Green Bay, it really wasn't that. He was there 15 years. You know, his dad was running the Packers, so he came in there and got a job he probably didn't deserve. They did break through and win a Super Bowl in 2010. But short of that, they never played in another one. They were in a few conference championship games. They lost them all. They missed the playoffs a handful of years in there. He did nothing the 2 years he went to the Cleveland Browns. You're handing the keys over to this guy to call all your shots at the draft and free agency and your coaching staff? I don't like it. So I'll acknowledge it's a plan. It's Plan Z, but I'll acknowledge it's a plan. I hate the plan.
So I'm more of the mind of like, plan? What plan? Because what I like partly about those clips and what we were just talking about with Jerod Mayo is that was such a clear plan. You can knock them for not going out and exploring all the different opportunities that were out there for the next head coach, but at least you heard so much conviction from ownership about Jerod Mayo. They knew it maybe years ago, and they signed it into a deal essentially a year ago. That was refreshing compared to what it's been like in the post-Brady era, where it's just fly by the seat of your pants with every decision. Take it as the decision shows itself, like that you need to actually make one. You need to actually put a quarterback out there. You need to actually have somebody kind of call plays, you know, whatever Matt Patricia essentially was doing. Now that we've moved on from appointing the head coach, it feels like everything else is back to that. And so maybe it's one of two things to me. It's either the plan is so clandestine that they don't care to share it. Ownership doesn't care to share it. And maybe it's something as simple as it is Mac Rowe and Elliot Wolf, or it's just Elliot Wolf, or it's somebody that is yet to be named. I don't think it's that the further we get along. I think it's going to be some combination of these two guys or Elliot. The other option is that they're just taking every step as it comes along. And to me, that's not a plan. Like, it's not a plan to just go, we're going to tackle the offensive coordinator here, and we like Covington, so we're just going to take Covington. And okay, now Steve Belichick is over in University of Washington, and we need a former head coach to be in here to help out our new head coach, so we're just going to grab whoever's available. Like, whoever's available is not a plan. And it's hard for me to knock it too much because the most important aspects are really coming up, which is what they do with this free agency money, if they show us that they're willing to really spend, and what they do in the draft if they take a quarterback like I think that they should. With the number 3 pick. So I can't knock it too much. I can only say that what I see so far, other than the appointment of Jerod Mayo, looks like it's once again a fly by the seat of your pants scenario, and that's not a plan to me.
Arkan, how do you feel about their quote-unquote plan post-Bill Belichick?
I'm in the plan what plan group as well. There's one thing I do like about it. The only thing I like about it is that it's been sort of deliberate so far in the sense that you can say, all right, here's your head coach. They put that in right away, and all the coordinators are actually coordinators, and that's what their job's going to be. And we all know that, and that's something that we didn't really get with Bill for the last few years, on the defensive side anyway, going all the way back to Brian Flores. So, you know, that's at least you're getting a little bit more transparency, and guys are filling roles that normal football teams have their coaches fill. So I like that, but that's it. And that's like the bare minimum of what you should be impressed by when it comes to assembling a coaching staff here. And really, to me, the whole plan what plan kind of comes from, I don't like it, so I guess I do sort of hate it too, but I don't think it just seems very rudderless. After Jerod Mayo, it just seemed like they were kind of, you know, all over the place trying to hire these other guys. Covington was already inside, and so that was sort of a easy promotion, but when it came to the really important one of offensive coordinator, they went through this long laundry list of guys. Many of them turned them down. Many of them took jobs other places. Many of them went back to the other jobs that they already had, to which this would have been a promotion, which I think was the most telling part of it all right there. And that, to me, was more important than who was going to be the assistant head coach, and Ben McAdoo, which is another name I don't love. And I just, Jeremy Springer and the special teams in L.A. was terrible last year. Like, from there, it just kind of seems like they're just throwing darts. And it seemed like it was very deliberate with Gerard Mayo, and since then, it's just been kind of all over the place.
So here's what Mike Reese wrote. And real quick, I'll acknowledge the Twitch chat. I just said this. I like it better than just bringing in a bunch of Bill Belichick guys. I do like that. And I acknowledge there's some little bit of a plan. But it seems like their plan was, if we strike out on everybody, we're just going to hire Elliot Wolf people. And go look at what they did in Green Bay. It was not that great. So Reese writes the following. The Patriots haven't named a GM since parting ways last month with Bill Belichick after 24 years. Probably because, I'll add, Jonathan Kraft and Robin Glazer are running football ops. While a strong contingent of Patriots personnel staff was on the road last week at the Senior Bowl and Shrine Bowl, Director of Scouting Elliot Wolf remained at Gillette Stadium. Sources say he was directly involved in the interview process with first-year head coach Gerard Mayo, which seems to indicate how Wolf's responsibilities are evolving into more of those normally associated with the GM. That was foreshadowed after Belichick's departure. Reese continues, his ascendance in New England highlights from this viewpoint how the Patriots are shifting towards more of a Packer-based structure, which places a greater emphasis on the evaluations of the personnel department than a head coach with final say. The Packers' past 2 drafts, he says, have looked exceptionally strong. Well, Elliot Wolf wasn't there for those drafts, so I don't get what that matters. But the Packers model that it's a GM doing GM responsibilities and a coach doing coach responsibilities, not a head coach involved in personnel like Bill Belichick was. Fine, I think a lot of organizations do that. But I look at how Green Bay fared in the Elliot Wolf days, and I look at the Mike McCarthy, like, people think Mike McCarthy should be fired, right? People don't like Mike McCarthy. Mm-hmm. This is Mike McCarthy era Green Bay Packers. This isn't Matt LaFleur. Never mind Shanahan or McVay. This is the Mike McCarthy offense. And I don't think that's very highly thought of throughout the league. And that's what you want. That's what you're building. That's what you're bringing in. And some of these names, Ben McAdoo was a joke in New York. He had a good first year as head coach, 11-5, then 3-13. Didn't make it through his second season with the New York Giants. A joke. They're talking about bringing back Chad O'Shea, okay? They're talking about bringing in a defensive line coach from the Packers, an offensive line coach with connections to Elliot Wolf's days in Green Bay. I don't want any of that. And I just thought they were going to aim a little higher, and it makes me wonder who's in charge and who wants to work here. And furthermore, did you see this from Jeff Howe over the weekend? In-house candidates Elliot Wolf and Matt Groh have been under consideration for the GM, Howe wrote. If Wolf is running the show, expect the Patriots to give a long, hard look at drafting a tackle with the number 3 pick. So it's the McCarthy offense, and we're taking a tackle at 3? That stinks. Like, when I say I hate it, no, it sounds like they have a plan, Mego. That's the plan. That's not, we don't have a plan. The plan is tackle. I hate it.
So, no, but I've been talking about everything leading up to that. I've been talking about, because I just said, like, what you do with your free agency money and what you do with that number 3 pick, to me, are the most important things in this post-Belichick plan since you appointed Mayo. But, like, when you talk about the GM situation and filling out these other roles to support Mayo, that's where it's like, well, Elliot Wolf knows a guy, and he knows another guy. Let's bring him in. Oh, none of these offensive coordinators are really working out with these interviews. Oh, Elliot knows a guy. Why doesn't Elliot bring this guy in? Oh, we like this guy. We'll hire him. Like, how is that a plan? Now, if you get to drafting a tackle at number 3...
Well, you two should be happy about this.
No,
Mego, you and Arcan should be happy about this.
Stop. Do not
you guys love tackles.
Don't misconstrue what I've said.
You love tackles.
Overall,
have I ever said that I want them to take a tackle? I've joked about Joe Alt. Have I ever said that I want them
him to play that
to
song,
do
please.
anything besides draft a quarterback at number 3? I don't think so.
Okay, you guys like tackles, so you should be happy with this plan.
I do like making your offensive line better, but I like doing that a little bit later in the draft than with a number 3 pick. Tackle.
No, she's never asked for a tackle. You're right. How do you feel about the Patriots?
Last year I was predicting when they have the number 3 pick this year, they should take a tackle.
How do you feel about the Patriots post-Bill Belichick plan so far? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you asking if there even is a plan? Plan? What plan? You can vote at Jones and Mego. You can dial us up, 617-779-7937. I wonder who wants to work here. I hate that tackle plan. Hate it so much.